So I'm going to walk through the process. So I can have the first slide of the process, please. Okay, so this one, you may all be approved centres, I'm not sure, so apologies if I'm going through something you're very familiar with, but I thought it's worth having in the full journey. So to obtain the ILM approval, if you're wanting to use ILMA, it's a very similar process. You'd be liaising with an account manager to understand the process and complete the application of interest. And then our quality team supports you through the centre approval process. And as Karen's just shown, you'd be selecting the ILMA version of the qualification code. So that should be selected for your centre approval or for qualification approval. You'll be set up with a walled garden account, and the approval email will be sent to you from the quality team, and then there's usually a welcome call from your account manager. And then the next slide, please. So then we do an ILMA Welcome. So we're notified of your centre approval and that you're wanting to use the ILMA route. And we'll send out an email. It comes from the operations@ilm.com email, and it will have all the information that you need for the ILMA service. And it'll ask for some dates that you're available to have a call with one of our lead assessors. So the lead assessor will arrange a time with you and arrange that call, and they have a really good detailed call with you. It's usually 40 minutes to an hour, and they'll discuss the qualifications you're doing, the units, and the assessment criteria in detail. And it's just to understand, to make sure everyone's on the same page with the expectations, there's an understanding of the verbs, and it really joins together the assessments and the tutor support you're doing as a centre for the assessments for the learners, and then the marking that we're doing. So those calls are really beneficial. Next slide, please. So once you're all set up, you'll be doing your registrations on walled garden. If you're a new centre, this will trigger us to set up the portal access, the ILMA portal access, because the walled garden and the ILMA portal, they're separate systems, but they are linked in that when you do your registrations on walled garden, that learner data, if it's an ILMA qualification, will be pulled through into the ILMA portal. We can then set up a login for you, and all your learners will be visible, so you can view them, and that allows you to upload your assignments. So you'll do your delivery as normal, and then when you're ready to submit the completed assignments, you'll upload them to the portal. There's a naming convention we ask, so we ask for the assignments to be named with the learner name, your enrolment number, centre number, and then the unit code of that assessment, and whether it's the first submission, second, etc. You'll also load up a blank result sheet, or I think that's still called mark sheet on the website, and a statement of authenticity that's been signed by the learner to say this is their work. So you upload those 3 documents, any appendices that might be with the assignment. That'll be submitted over to the ILMA team, and our admin team will check the documents are all completed and correct, and then they'll be allocated out to an assessor. The assessor will do the marking, they'll complete the mark sheet and provide some good feedback against each assessment criterion. Even if they've passed the assessment criterion, there's still, if there is room for development, they would add in how they could have made it a stronger response. And then if there have been referrals as well, it'll be explaining, guiding, what's been good, but what they need to do to improve the response. They're then submitted to the lead assessors, who will carry out sampling. And then they will release the completed assessments back to you on the portal, and you'll be able to see the results then on your dashboard. Excuse me, next slide, please. So the results, you can view all the completed results on your ILMA portal dashboard, and you can also view the results sheets. So you're able to download the results sheets for you to view, but then also really valuable, you can send those to the learners. Even if they've passed the unit and passed that assessment, it's really valuable feedback for them to have, because it will help them improve future assignments that they're writing. Successful results will upload to walled garden, so that we do that part for you, and they will be certificated. If we've noticed any additional support, so if we've had a cohort of learners and they've also made fallen down on a specific AC assessment criteria, one of our lead assessors, they'll create a feedback summary report for you if we think that's valuable, just to highlight where the learners are needing some additional support to get past that unit. And then if for other support on the portal use or for any resulting inquiries, our customer services team can support you. Next one, please. So this is just on to resubmission. So if learners have been referred on a unit, using the assessor feedback, your learners will rework their assessment. We ask that the additional information is added in a different colour font. So assuming the first one's black, maybe the second submission is in blue, so we can easily see the additional work. And they only need to respond, provide the additional work to referred assessment criteria. If they've passed it, that's done. It wouldn't be remarked. We're just looking for extra work to pass the referred assessment criteria. And then it's a similar process. You'd upload again to the portal, send it over to, and if they're allocated to our assessor, who will remark, and the lead assessor will sample. And then the ILMA team will invoice you weekly for any resubmissions. And I've just put the fees. They're also on the website with that link that Karen showed with all the registration fees. There's also the reassessment fees. So we would invoice you each week for any reassessments or resubmissions that you've sent over to the portal. I think next one might be. Okay, so this is for centres who are already approved for an ILM qualification. They're doing the centre assessed, but they then want to use the ILMA to assess their assignments. So there's a centre update that you need to submit in Walled Garden to request the ILMA qualifications to be added to your contract, and our quality delivery team will add them in, and there's no additional cost for that. And that will trigger, we'll receive that you've added an ILMA qualification to your contract, and that will trigger the welcome email from us and the lead assessor support. So, and then you're sort of into the ILMA process. Thank you. I think next one. So I've just done a few screenshots of the portal. I think it's always good to have a visual. So this is from a centre view. So you would log in and you would first of all see this tracker, which is like your dashboard. So it shows each assessment that's been submitted for your learners, what stage it's at. So is it submitted, completed, has it been rejected or referred? You can export this data to Excel. You can filter on it. And it's from this page that you can access all your assessments and results sheets. Next one, please. So this is where you would upload your assessments. So I mentioned that it's got that link to Walled Garden. So you'd go to Unit Assessment tab, and that would have all your learners with the qualifications and all the units available. And then on the right-hand column where it says Upload Files, you'd select whichever one you need to upload the assessment for, or several, and then Upload Files, and that will allow you to do sort of searched on your desktop or wherever you're saving the assessments, and upload them, sort of attach them. I think I might have a next screenshot, Karen, that explains that a bit better. There we go. So it'll take you to this Upload Files. So you're probably familiar with this. You click on the select files, and it'll show different locations on your computer that you can add the files. And then you'd select, oh sorry, there's the result sheets as well. So it will ask you, and it will remind you to add a result sheet, and your statement of authenticity should be loaded up with the evidence files as well. And then you would upload and submit to us. Next slide, please. So once you've uploaded it, it'll go to pending submission. So you could build up a few. So say if you've got a cohort of learners, maybe 12 learners, they might all have completed the unit at the same time. So you might want to submit them all together. You don't have to do that. It's totally down to you. We'll accept them as they come in. But if that's how you wanted to manage it, you could put them all in there and they'll all come under pending submission. And then you can either submit them individually or you could submit them as a batch. If you submit as a batch, it allows you to give them a name. So you might want to call a cohort by a specific name or a date so that it makes it easy for your tracking and reporting. And then at that point, you would submit to us, and that's when they come over to our admin team, who will then allocate them out. Have the next slide, please. Okay, so then they'll appear on your tracker as the status being submitted. So you know that those ones have been submitted to us, and we'll be going through the process of the checks, the marking and the sampling.